Hey everyone, Steve here, and in this video I'm taking a look at the Hori Fighting Stick 3 arcade stick, originally for the PS3. Now I made a video a while back on the Hori EX2 arcade stick for the Xbox 360, and this is basically the PS3 version of that arcade stick. I'll put the footage up now, but you can see it's basically got the exact same shape of case. But as I mentioned in that video, it's weird how they use only 6 buttons and this PS3 version has all 8. Just taking a look at the layout here, we do have sort of a arch shape, so it's not a Vuelix or a straight across layout. Nice Hori parts all around in terms of like, basically being Hori versions of Sanwa parts. It's a very kind of plain art design with a little gradients on the stick art here. The buttons in this case are colored with PlayStation colors as opposed to the Xbox ones. On this top control panel, we've got a turbo switch with a dial, your home button, L3 and R3, which is nice, and select and start. A pretty plain case all round. On the bottom, it's just a nice clean metal plate. Got a Fighting Stick 3 sticker here, model number HP3-01. And then of course, we will be taking a look inside. Overall, the size of the stick is actually pretty decent. It's not the largest stick in the world, but it does have a little bit of room, for my hands at least, on either side to kind of rest them. The joystick feels nice and responsive. And while these buttons aren't the fastest or easiest to press, they are responsive enough. I actually want to say something about this layout here, especially the way the buttons are configured, in that it's pretty much, at least for me, I feel, an old style to put L1 and L2 here and R1 and R2 there, because I get that this is on the left and this is on the right. But still, when you have like a 6 button or an 8 button game, by default, you use these 4 as the main and then R1 and R2. So L1 and L2 don't really need to be here if that's where you're going to be putting your hands. That just means you have to kind of reconfigure everything all the time. So I would be putting, the main 4 action buttons and then like all the other stuff here. If that was like, Guilty Gear or something like that. If it was Street Fighter, then I would be using these 6 and then these 2 would be all punches and all kicks. But that's just something that maybe they hadn't really settled on in the PS3 generation. But anyways, going to do a really short playtest just to see how it feels and to see if the actual PCB inside this thing still works. Okay, so as always, I'm going to be testing this out on the PS4 instead of the PS3 just because it's what I have plugged in and easy to access. Don't think I need to unwrap this cable, so I'll just plug it straight into my Brook adapter here. There we are. Press home to turn it on. And we're good to go. Let's just try it out on some Guilty Gear Strive, which is kind of, like a 6 button game at most, but I'll make use of these other 2. Okay, so I've got Guilty Gear Strive loaded up here. Not connected to the internet as usual. Let me just tackle some missions here. Although I'm not even sure if this control scheme is going to be the way I'd like it. Let's go to button settings. Okay, so punch, I'm going to want there. Kick is there. Slash is here. Heavy slash is here. Then for dust, I'm going to set it to triangle, I guess. Taunt can be R2. Actually, no. Taunt can be over here, R1. Dash can be circle. And Roman cancel. Oh, actually, I don't need taunt at all, so I'm going to do Roman cancel and psych on burst. Okay, hopefully that's it. Oh, L1 to start. Okay. Oh god, that's not it. Finally. Whew. Damn, I got to do it 3 times. Finally. Maybe I should just leave the controls default, but whatever. So yeah, the actual layout, maybe it's just a me issue because I've reassigned the buttons, but it's messing with me a little bit. Let's just play some arcade mode quickly, press some buttons and see how it feels. You can see how long it's been since I've updated my PS4 because Baiken and Testament aren't even here. I don't think I've ever played as Naguriyuki, so let's give it a try. I'm probably gonna mess everything up because I don't know how it works. Ah, what does that do? That was cool. Oh shit, I'm dying. What is that? Okay. Okay, I think that'll do it for this quick playtest. Let's have a look inside. And so I think it's been a while, but I am back here with a couple of nice lavender dumbbells to protect the top side of this arcade stick when we tear it open. So I'll just move those there. Arcade stick gets flipped over like so. Nothing complicated here, just looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phillips screws. Nothing under this sticker here hiding away. Okay, so personally I feel like someone might have been inside this arcade stick already because the screw heads seem a little stripped and I'm too good of a arcade stick breakdowner to have stripped them myself, but as long as you're careful, they still work out. Okay, this light over here just died for a second. That might have been what you saw there. Anyways, all the screws are out, so let's have a look. Wow. We've kind of seen this a million times before, but let's just have a closer look now. Dark case kind of makes it hard to see anything here, but we have the joystick, we have the PCB, and this little breakout board for the top controls. 2 wires there for the LED that does the turbo functionality, which I forgot to test out, but I don't think we really need to. The underside of the PCB, so all the buttons are soldered in. The brains of the whole operation there. And then here is the board. Definitely another candidate for some modding if and when I have an idea for it. This Hori joystick that we've seen a million times. Wires have been soldered directly onto the contacts. And there we are, not much to it. Okay, so I've screwed in the base of the arcade stick back together. I didn't end up snipping anything like I usually do sometimes, because I do have another one of these that I can use for a mod later on in the future. But before I wrap up, I just wanted to compare the Xbox model of the Hori stick of this generation versus this Fighting Stick 3. So again, back to the video that I made on this stick, you may remember that I did snip the wires off connecting the joystick to the main PCB. And that I did mention as well, this is only a 6-button layout, whereas the PS3 one has basically all 8 main action buttons. It's also got the turbo functionality, which I didn't test out, but I don't really need to. And the Xbox One is missing that functionality. The Xbox One also does have the headphone jack like a normal Xbox controller does. But one thing I wanted to show as well are the button sizes. So it's a very subtle difference, but that is the difference between 30 and 28. But the PS3 one uses 28mm buttons and can be a hard thing to kind of confirm if you don't have them side by side. But yeah, for some reason, they've chosen to make a few differences between these two models, which is fair enough, you know. Maybe that's how Hori wants to differentiate these two products. But yeah, in basically every other aspect, they're very similar designs. And just having the cases here on top of each other, they are virtually the same size. I think they're the same case, you know. They just had a different top panel here to fit different button layouts. And then of course this cutout here, or this top control panel bit, is different because of the turbo functionality. Anyways guys, that'll do it for this quick look at the Hori Fighting Stick 3 for the PS3. I thought it would just be interesting to have a look and take a note at the differences between this and the EX2 for the Xbox 360. Anyways, that'll be it for now. As always, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll answer as much as I can. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could like it and subscribe. And if you haven't already, check out the other videos on my channel as there's a lot to see. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.